Have you ever wondered why you keep falling for the same kind of person, only to end up hurt, disappointed, or drained again? You're not alone. And it's not bad luck. There's something deeper going on beneath the surface, and today, we're going to uncover it. In this video, we're going to explore the real reasons why you keep attracting the wrong people into your life, and what you can do to finally break that cycle. But before we dive in, I want to ask you something important. If this topic resonates with you, even just a little, please stay with me until the end. I promise this video may just shift something inside you. And if you're new here, I'd be incredibly grateful if you'd subscribe to this channel. We're still a small, growing community, but we're on a mission to help more people wake up, heal, and finally feel good enough. Your support means everything. So let's begin. What if I told you that the people you're drawn to in adulthood are rarely random? In fact, many of the relationships we form, especially the most painful ones, are recreations of emotional patterns we experienced growing up. Your childhood was your first love classroom. That's where you learned what attention felt like, what love looked like, what you had to do to feel seen. Or how you had to shrink to feel safe. If you were raised in a home where love was conditional, where your worth depended on being quiet, perfect, helpful, or invisible, then guess what? You learned that love had a cost. You didn't just develop a personality. You developed a survival strategy. And the worst part? You began to confuse familiarity with love. So now, as an adult, you're unconsciously drawn to people who feel like home, even if home was full of criticism, distance, unpredictability, or emotional starvation. It's why you chase people who won't commit. It's why you overgive, hoping someone will finally stay. It's why you feel alive in chaos, but bored in stability. Because chaos is familiar. Being unseen is familiar. Working for love is familiar. And the brain craves familiarity. Even if it hurts. Here's an example. Imagine a woman who grew up with a father who was emotionally unavailable. He was around, but distant. Maybe kind one moment and cold the next. As a little girl, she kept trying to earn his attention, by being good, helpful, quiet. She never quite knew if she mattered. Now, as an adult, she finds herself repeatedly falling for emotionally unavailable men. They seem exciting at first. But soon enough, they start pulling away. And guess what? She chases. Not because she's weak. But because this feels like home. Subconsciously, she's trying to finish the story. She's hoping this time, the unavailable man will finally choose her. That's how the childhood wound becomes the adult pattern. So what can we do about it? First, we have to name it. We have to stop calling this bad luck or chemistry and start seeing it for what it is, a pattern. A wound looking for resolution. A story looking for a new ending. And here's the truth, you won't break the cycle by finding the right person. You break it by becoming the person who no longer tolerates the wrong ones. You stop confusing effort with love. You stop auditioning for people's approval. You stop accepting crumbs just to feel wanted. And that starts with you. With learning to reparent your inner child. With giving yourself the stability, love, and safety you never had. Because once you do that, something powerful happens. Your nervous system starts to reject chaos. Your soul stops chasing home in broken places. You start feeling peace as normal, not boring. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you are available for. Here's the truth that most people never realize, you don't just live your life. You live the story you believe about yourself. Your beliefs are like invisible scripts running in the background, directing your choices, your reactions, your relationships. And even your self-worth. So if you were conditioned to believe that, you're not lovable unless you're useful, you're too much or not enough, love always comes with pain, or that you have to earn affection. Then that belief becomes your emotional GPS. You unconsciously seek out people and situations that confirm it, over and over again. That's not a flaw. That's how the brain works. It looks for evidence to prove what you already believe. It's called confirmation bias. And it's why you keep finding people who treat you the same way. Let me ask you, when someone treats you with kindness, do you feel uncomfortable? When someone is emotionally safe and stable, do you feel bored? When someone truly sees you, do you pull away or question their motives? That's not because something is wrong with you. It's because your belief system was wired for something else. It was wired to survive, not to feel fulfilled. So when peace shows up, you don't recognize it. When real love enters, you question it. And you keep running back to people who match your old beliefs, because they feel familiar. Even if they hurt you. But here's the most important thing you need to know: your beliefs are not facts. They're programs. And they can be rewritten. How? By becoming conscious of them. Start asking, what do I believe about myself in love? What story do I tell myself when someone pulls away? What kind of love do I think I deserve? Where did I learn that? When you start tracing your beliefs back to their origin, something incredible happens. You realize they weren't yours to begin with. They were inherited. Taught. Passed down. And if they were learned, they can be unlearned. Because here's the truth: you're not broken. You're patterned. And you can rewire the pattern. But only if you stop blaming others, and start examining yourself with compassion. The most powerful shift you can make is this: this pain isn't who I am. It's just who I became to survive. And now you're ready for something better. Not just in love, but in how you see yourself. Let's talk about something we all do, whether we admit it or not: we ignore red flags. Not because we're blind, but because we're hoping to be wrong. The truth is, when your emotional needs weren't met as a child, when you were neglected, dismissed, or made to feel invisible, you develop a tolerance for emotional starvation. So later in life, when someone shows you small crumbs of attention or affection, you cling to it like it's a full meal. You tell yourself, they're just going through something. Maybe I'm being too sensitive. No one's perfect, I can fix this. But here's what you're really doing: you're betraying yourself to avoid being abandoned. You silence your gut because you fear rejection more than mistreatment. And that's not your fault. That's a survival pattern. Here's the uncomfortable truth: we don't ignore red flags because we don't see them. We ignore them because we're afraid of what they confirm. If I admit that this person is toxic, then I have to admit I don't feel worthy of anything better. That hurts. So we stay. We stay and hope that love will change them. We stay and call it loyalty. We stay and call it working on things. But often, what we're really doing is reenacting the same emotional neglect we experienced growing up. Except now we're the ones doing it to ourselves. So how do we stop ignoring red flags? Start by asking yourself this: what is the cost of staying in this connection? Not just emotionally, but energetically, spiritually, psychologically. Are you shrinking yourself to fit? Are you abandoning your needs to be chosen? If love requires you to self-destruct, then it's not love. It's survival dressed up as romance. And here's something powerful: the moment you decide that peace is more important than potential, you stop tolerating what doesn't align with your healing. Because the truth is, you can't heal in the same environment that broke you. Here's something most people don't realize: you don't attract what you want. You attract what you believe you deserve. And your sense of self-worth? That's the filter through which you accept, or reject, love. If deep down you believe you're not enough, You'll unconsciously gravitate toward people who confirm that belief. You'll chase those who withhold love. You'll settle for breadcrumbs. You'll confuse being chosen with being valued. Because the truth is, self-worth sets the bar. Not only for what you tolerate from others, but for how you speak to yourself. What you pursue. What you think is possible for your life. Let's break this down. Imagine your self-worth as your emotional thermostat. If it's set low, any time someone treats you too well, it feels uncomfortable. You might say, "It's too much too soon. They're too nice, I'm not used to that. I don't know how to receive love like this." Sound familiar? So you self-sabotage. Not because you're broken, but because your nervous system doesn't recognize safe love as familiar. What is familiar? Is emotional struggle. Chasing. Proving. Earning. And because of this, you end up attracting the very kind of pain you're trying to escape, over and over again. Now here's the good news, you can change your inner filter. You can raise your self-worth. But not by getting someone else to love you. By learning to love the parts of yourself you once abandoned just to be accepted. Start asking, what kind of love am I recreating? Do I actually want a healthy relationship, or just someone who won't leave? Am I acting from my healed self or my hurt self? Because when your self-worth rises, your standards do too. And people who thrive on your silence, your people-pleasing, your wounds, they start to lose access to you. You stop chasing, and start choosing. You stop begging for love, and start embodying it. You stop settling, and start becoming the person you were waiting for. You might think that healing happens when the people who hurt you finally apologize. When they come back. When they choose you. When someone proves that you're lovable, once and for all. But healing isn't about them changing. It's about you changing the way you see yourself. It's about you realizing, you were always enough. You just forgot. The truth is, you don't need closure to heal. You don't need validation from the person who ghosted you, rejected you, or made you feel invisible. What you need is to reconnect with the version of yourself that existed before the world told you that you weren't worthy of love. You see, you're not attracting the wrong people because you're broken, you're attracting them because deep inside, something still believes love must be earned. But love isn't a transaction. It's not a prize for performing. It's your birthright. Healing begins the moment you stop outsourcing your value, and start rewriting the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you deserve. So don't wait for someone else to choose you. Choose yourself. Every time you speak up. Every time you walk away from disrespect. Every time you stop chasing and start listening to your intuition, you're healing. And the more you heal, the more invisible you become to the people who only wanted you broken. If this message resonated with you, I want you to remember one thing, you don't have to settle for the kind of love that hurts to hold. There is a version of you who already knows they are enough. Let's help you become them. If you found value in this video, please subscribe, this channel is just beginning, and your support means everything. We're building a space for healing, truth, and transformation. A space where you're no longer alone in your pain. Where you feel seen. Heard. Understood. Your journey matters. Your heart matters. And if you know someone who keeps attracting the wrong kind of love, please share this with them. It might be the reminder they didn't know they needed. See you in the next video. And remember, the love you deserve starts with the love you give yourself.